Hello children, today we're in this beautiful wooded area with lots of fruiting ficus trees in search for an extremely rare bird that has been invading Florida. Now this bird, the red-legged honeycreeper, is invading through not only Florida but also Louisiana and Texas because their range in Cuba was interfered with by the hurricane, and now they're spreading outwards in search for resources like fruit to eat. So a lot of them have been coming through Florida and eating at some of the Florida strangler fig ficus trees. So we're gonna see if we could find the extremely rare honeycreeper. So let's see what all we could find.
The ruby-throated hummingbird is the only common species of hummingbird here in Florida. This individual right here is an immature male, as you could tell as some of the reddish coloration is starting to develop on the throat. In matured males, this red area is called a gorget. This beautiful black and white warbler right here is an absolutely unmistakable species, with the black and white striping patterning all throughout the body. Besides patterning though, the way they move is unlike any other warbler. Instead of jumping around and flitting around trees, black and white warblers slowly scan around thicker branches on the trees, oftentimes going upside down, while in search of small insects to eat. Overall a really interesting bird, but very common. Male black-throated blue warblers are unmistakable warblers, with the blue above and the black throat as well as the black on the sides of the belly, the white belly, and that white wing square. Males of this species are really shy and hard to photograph though. While females are much duller in coloration than the males are, they are also much easier to get close to and photograph out in the open. She basically looks nothing like the male does except for that very distinctive white square on the wings. Something really interesting about warblers is how diverse their diet is. While a lot of times the ones coming through to migrate are eating insects, this was interesting seeing this one eating a fruit. This makes sense as fruit have lots of sugar and have them build up a lot of energy to keep going on their migration. The northern Parula is one of the most common warbler migrants in South Florida. They're yet another very distinctive warbler species, with the yellow throat, oftentimes with an orange band along the throat, and bold white wing bars as well as white stripes above and below the eye. Northern Parulas are among the most athletic of all the warblers, and I often see them in very strange positions like this one going upside down, and bending its neck in very weird ways. The downy woodpecker is the smallest woodpecker in all of North America, and is a relatively common species here in Florida. They can be easily identified by their tiny size, stubby beak, black and white checkering pattern, and very squeaky calls. This one is a male, as evidenced by the small red patch on the back of the head. This right here is my favorite warbler ever, the ovenbird, for no reason other than I just think they're cute. Ovenbirds are very different from any other warbler in the fact that I often see them underneath bushes, walking really slowly, oftentimes scanning the leaf litter for small insects. They're also quite dull for a warbler, except for the bright orange crown that fully matured adults have, and the contrasting black and white streaky belly. The magnolia warbler is usually a warbler I only get to see a couple times each warbler season, so it was pretty awesome seeing 3 of them this one day. Even though they're much brighter in coloration during the breeding season, their migration colors are still pretty, and they're still easily identified by the mostly white tail with a bold black tip. One of my favorite bird finds in the wild though was this beautiful male hooded warbler, a species I haven't seen in 3 years up to this point. The males of this species are unmistakable, being entirely yellow except for that black hood around the face. After a while of looking though, all the work finally paid off. This right here was my lifer, the incredibly rare red-legged honeycreeper. There are actually 2 individuals at this one location, both of which are females. These are far from the only ones in the United States right now though, as Hurricane Ian passing through Cuba depleted these birds from Cuba of their resources, specifically fruiting and flowering trees that they eat from. So they have fled to different places in the United States, especially southern Florida, and take advantage of the plentiful fruiting trees right now. The ones in Florida seem to really be favoring Florida's strangler fig, as it is a common species in southeastern Florida, and the really big trees are all fruiting right now. the perfect food item for these hungry and stressed out honeycreepers. The female and immature male red-legged honeycreeper is a greenish-yellowish color with reddish-colored legs. The males have brighter red legs and black wings as it matures. Fully matured males, on the other hand, are bright blue in coloration. Still, though, that distinct, long, down-curved, sharp beak makes identifying this bird really easy to separate it from the surrounding warblers around it. These guys are a species of tanager in the family Thropidae, the second largest family of birds that is mostly found in the neotropics. It was amazing finally being one of the many birders to have had the opportunity to find this rarity.